Hey, I am really excited to share with you I just had an amazing session with ChatGPT today. There is something called plugins, which you may or may not know about. I used a specific plugin today because I wanted ChatGPT to teach me how to do some particular research. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to share with you actually 9 different things today. I'm going to show you the particular plugin I used, how you can learn how to use the plugin right here in ChatGPT. And then I'm going to show you a few things I learned along the way. Now, we're not going to do a live session because it did turn out to be most of the day with plenty of pauses, of course, and it's rather long. But I did highlight some specific key elements that I wanted to share with you. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is share my screen. Alrighty. And I'm right here in my ChatGPT screen. Now, of course, as I mentioned, I had done earlier today. So the particular plugin I chose to use is called Meta Mentor. And you'll see that up here at the very top, Meta Mentor. And if you don't know how to enable plugins using ChatGPT 4, because you can only do this on the paid version, then I will be happy to show you how to do that, how to find them, and how to enable them in a separate video. So before this session started, I went and found a particular plugin called Meta Mentor. And the reason I chose this plugin is because it said it would teach me about any topic I wanted to learn about. In this particular case, well, before I do that, before I tell you what the topic is, when you use a plugin, you might not know how best to use it. So you can just ask ChatGPT. So my very first question is, hi, ChatGPT, how do I use Meta Mentor? So what ChatGPT does, it went ahead and accessed Meta Mentor through its plugin. And this is what it came up with. To use Meta Mentor effectively, follow these steps. And it gives me a list of basic commands here, most of which I didn't use actually during the chat. By the way, that now that I've come back and looked at these things, I may do this differently the next time I use this. And believe me, I will be using this again, and you'll see why. And then, of course, it gives you some advanced commands, including being able to create a PDF at the end, as well as create an exam, which I did not do, and a book recommendation. And then it goes on to give tips. The more general your request, the less specific and more vague the output will be. Well, that's true of any conversation you have with ChatGPT. Conversely, the more specific or narrowed down the topic, the more detailed your PDF will be. And then it also says, if the plugin or conversation fails or gets interrupted, you can prompt it to continue by saying phrases like, go on, continue, do it again, or you got interrupted. Turns out these particular phrases you may find useful anytime, because sometimes if ChatGPT gets overloaded for whatever reason, or your own internet connection is slow, and it seems to hang or pause, or even if it just seems to stop, then you can type in the next message box, continue, or do it again, or you got interrupted. So super, just remember that for any ChatGPT session. So then I gave it this really long explanation, and I said yes, because it said, would you like to start a learning session on a specific topic? And I said yes, /start, because that was the command it gave back up here for how to start a learning session. And then I gave it this really long description of what it is I wanted to learn about, but I'll give you the short version. The short version is, I need to do some research on Alibaba for women's clothing, specifically women's luxury clothing. And I want some materials and not specific other materials like polyester. I gave a little bit of context of why I was doing this. I'm doing research for my company, Two Bodies. I wanted to know about purchasing samples and MOQs and some other things. And then I also added that searching on Alibaba has been kind of frustrating, so I want to learn how to use it effectively for my purposes. So I gave it all that, which is probably far more than it actually needed, but it doesn't care. It'll take what's necessary from all the words I give it and give me something useful. So then, as you can see here, it accessed MetaMentor twice. I don't know why, but every single time it did it twice. And it says, great, I've created a study guide tailored to your needs. The guide will cover the following lessons and sub-lessons. And it says study guide, effective Alibaba sourcing for women's clothing. Number one, understanding Alibaba's platform. So in which case it'll also go through the basics, key features and search algorithms, criteria for supplier selection, which will include quality assurance, sustainability, MOQs, which by the way stands for minimum order quantities, sample availability. Next would be communication and negotiation, the initial contact, your negotiation strategies, and finalizing deals. Then quality control and logistics, quality checks, shipping and logistics, customs and duties. And number 5, advanced techniques, data scraping, automated queries, which I was about to do before I started this whole lesson. Turns out it was a good thing I didn't do that, and I'll explain why later. And then the use of third-party tools. And by the way, if I didn't like any of these, I would have gone back and redid my prompt and said, okay, I want this and I don't want that and that kind of thing. So you can fine tune it to what it is you're more specifically looking for. And since I was just starting out, I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to go for. So then the next thing it says is, would you like to start with the first topic? Or is there a specific topic that you're more interested in diving into first? So you don't actually have to do it in order. So that's also kind of cool. What was interesting for me about this is I would get into reading some of these things, and then I would need to take a break, just to take a break, or I would need to go into a meeting or answer a phone call or whatever. But whenever I came back, it remembered always where we were, and we just picked up right where we left off. Super great. It's like having a tutor on hand who's just sitting there waiting for you. And so then, of course, I said, let's begin with the first topic. Now, I wrote, let's begin with the first topic, basics of Alibaba. I did that really only for my edification, because I find that typing it in kind of also further incorporates it into my thinking. But you don't need to do that. All you need to do is say, let's proceed, or let's begin, and off it goes. So each time we do this, it comes back and it goes right into MetaMentor, which is the plugin, and of course, and it goes off and gets the next set of tools. So it gave me the basics, and then it gave me some expanded content. In this case, the expanded content is based on a previous session of setup of ChatGPT, where I actually went and customized how I want ChatGPT to interact with me. And I gave it a lot of background information about exactly the kinds of things I would be looking for from it in general. I will do that in another video if you're not familiar with how to customize ChatGPT to your specific needs. So I'm not going to go through all the answers and questions, because it just went on through each session as I said I was ready. I do want to point out in this particular section, it talked about the platform also provides various payment options, including TTLC and secure online payments. Well, I've never heard of TT and LC, so I went ahead and asked, what is T over T and L over C? And then it went on to explain that T over T is telegraphic transfer and what that is and the pros and cons, and that L over C is letter of credit, what it is and the pros and cons. It's like, oh, okay, great. That's great. I understand. And then it went on to describe for my specific needs what it might recommend, in this case, a letter of credit. And then, of course, I had some further questions, which it answered, and in great detail, which is just fabulous. And then I told it to keep proceeding to the next topic. So I'm just going to kind of scroll on to these, scroll on by until we get to a part where I really went into a deeper dive. So let's just, every single thing, it went through this entire completed lesson plan. So then when we get into this part about shipping and logistics, it said something that I found very interesting, of course, because this is where I'm working. It says, let's see, hold on. In the expanded content, given your focus on sustainability, you might want to explore Alibaba's green logistics options, which aim to minimize the environmental impact of shipping. Additionally, consider leveraging blockchain technology for transparent and efficient supply chain management. Well, I'd only heard of this marginally, but I hadn't heard of it more specifically. So it says, this can provide real-time tracking and verification of sustainable practices throughout the shipping process. Such advanced logistics solutions can not only enhance operational efficiency, but also strengthen your brand's sustainability credentials. And it said, would you like to proceed to the next topic? And I'm thinking, no, wait a minute. I want to know more about this. So I said, does Alibaba use blockchain technology for supply chain management? And how would that work? And so it goes on to explain, as of my last update, January 2022, Alibaba has shown interest in blockchain technology and applied it in various domains. So I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but it also went on to explain how blockchain could theoretically work in supply chain management. And it goes through some more detailed explanation. So then I said, this is great. As of your last update, are there any companies known to be doing this? Now remember, the update in this case was January 2022. And it says, sure. As of that time, these 9 companies were clearly using blockchain technology for their supply chain management. I mean, and check out this list: IBM Food Trust, De Beers, Maersk, FedEx, I didn't know that, Bumblebee Foods, Boeing, Merck, Everledger, and Microsoft. Super interesting, huh? There's a lot more by now, I can tell you. All right, so then I continued on with my lessons, which again, all lovely detail. Hang on, I don't want to get too deep into it. The advanced techniques. So in the advanced techniques, it talks about data scraping and how to automate. However, it says this might be against Alibaba's rules, and you may want to check and make sure that that's going to be okay to do. Pardon me while I get a drink of water. So what I was going to do before I started this, because I see this sort of research as kind of an iterative process, so I thought maybe I could go use an AI agent to do this. It turns out I probably could. I ran into another snag that didn't have anything to do with using the agent, but I thought maybe I better learn some more about it first before jumping into that. That's kind of the deep end of the AI pool. Turns out it's a good thing I didn't do that, because it's probably against the agreement of using Alibaba's platform. And so that's fine. But then when I wanted to learn more about data scraping, I asked a deeper question about another tool called Helium-10, which ChatGPT gave me more information on. And then I said, well, since your data is limited to January 2022, what query would I need to submit to Google or similar search engine to look for data scraping tools? And it gave me 10 different queries I can use on Google to learn more about this. So this is gold. This is fabulous, because if ChatGPT can't give me the answer, I've asked it how I can go find the answer elsewhere and do other additional research. All right, so then we'll just continue on here, and I want to show you what happened at the very end. A couple of things here. So it says, are you ready for the guide? So I said, yes, please create the guide in PDF format. Now it offers the guide in PDF, HTML, or DocX formats. So I went ahead and I asked for the PDF. And it said the guide on effective Alibaba sourcing for women's clothing has been successfully created in PDF format. You can download it using the link below, which I'm going to go ahead and do now so I can show you what that looks like. Now, in terms of formatting and whatever, it's not very exciting. So for future reference, I might go ahead and do this in docx so that I could then format to my heart's content or cut and paste pieces I want into other documents I might be creating, such as a document for use by my team. So it goes on, and there's the 5 topics that we went over in the ChatGPT session. And then it goes into the very same things that we talked about. So the basics of Alibaba, and here was the surprise, related videos. Okay, why is this super cool? Because when I clicked on this link, I'll go ahead and do that. It gives me a link of videos on YouTube about that particular topic that we just covered within our lesson plan here. And the reason I found that super interesting is because some of these things, you can see here's a sponsored one, and then here's another, a 2022 guide, and another step-by-step guide to buying from Alibaba. So you can do deeper dives into this or get other points of view and other training and perspective that's already out there. Here's another one, How Does Alibaba Work? A Beginner's Guide to Alibaba.com and Sourcing in China. Unlock the full potential of your AMZ, your Amazon business, because a lot of Amazon sellers use Alibaba. A lot of drop shippers do too. I actually picked a particular video to go ahead and watch about this because it said it was updated for 2023. So he actually made it in 2022, but it said he updated it for 2023. So I went ahead and watched this particular video by Joshua Crisp. It was 10 minutes and 43 seconds long. It gave very interesting additional information about Alibaba. So I found that super, super interesting. So if we go back here and we go back to the PDF, I just want to show you that then for each section it's got a link to related videos. And I think this is just super, super cool. So that's why I wanted to jump on, create this video, and share with you yet another way that ChatGPT can be super helpful for you. You can ask it to teach you about probably any topic you care to learn about. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. If you liked this video and you really want more, please tell me that below as well. I will be setting up a channel on YouTube. In fact, these videos will already be on YouTube by the time you get to see them. For the future, I'll be organizing them into effective lesson plans, and who knows, maybe even courses. But for now, all this content is coming to you for free because I'm so excited to share it. So again, hope you enjoy it. If you have questions, let me know. If you have questions about other things that might be done in ChatGPT that you'd like to know more about, please share those below as well. They may become the subject of my future videos. And for that, I say bye for now.